She's in the house. Let's go. Let's go.
Meg, you ready?
Yeah, I'm good. I apologize. I've got children that kind of like to delay schedules.
It's all good. Here we go.
30
Let's get it. What's up? What's up? Y'all know what it is. You know what time it is. Time to get the fire started on this great Thursday evening. Let's go. Let's go. Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show. I'm your host, Andre the Torch Robinson. The fire starter is in the building. Y'all know what it is, man. Listen, y'all see her down there already. You see my guy over here, the Alphabets. Friday Night Lights is in the building. Mr. Marcus, the Alphabets, my co-host. But you see her too down here. You know who she is. She is, yo. Can I tell him about your promotion? You want to tell him about your promotion? Go ahead and tell him about your promotion. I'm going to let you do this, by the way. The Incredible Meg is in the building. Go ahead, Meg. Tell him about your promotion.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. And if you don't know who I am the Megan Hall. But just recently got promoted to managing editor of IndieIntercept.com. Also host of the Indie Intercept podcast that is now out on Spotify. So doing a little bit of things, a little bit.
You being modest a little bit. You see how she coming up, raising the game, raising the stakes, raising the game for everybody.
Being humble as hell.
Right, being super humble now.
I try to be.
Being humble as hell.
Tomorrow, so
I'll be doing backflips, man. I'll be doing them cartwheels. Your kids, Mom, watch, look at the cartwheel.
Yeah,
that's how I'll be doing them cartwheels.
It's absolutely blessing. It's a dream come true. So that's really nice to see in my life. So,
Torch, is there a game? Is there a game on tonight? There's some kind of game. Yes. There's some kind of game on, right? Some kind of.
It's a game on tonight. And y'all know what we're going to do right here on the Thursday night. On the Thursday night Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show. My guy, Rashawn Reeves, is in the building, too. What's good, Rashawn?
Man, just enjoying another day in paradise, man. How everybody doing tonight?
Good, man. Good.
Wonderful. Listen, we got picks to make. We got some conversation to be had and some picks to make right now. I know Mark is going to save his for Friday, but nevertheless, we still got stuff to talk about. Week 1 is in the books. You know, a lot of people swung and struck out, and a lot of people hit for the fences on week 1. But nevertheless, we got the Chargers and Chiefs tonight in Arrowhead. They are already talking about Tony Gonzalez over here. I was watching it. Tony Gonzalez over here, Richard Sherman made a comment, and I actually want to think about this comment real quick. Richard Sherman said, "Yo, it's people talking about Travis Kelce is the best tight end in Chiefs history." Your thoughts on that? We agree, disagree?
Tony Gonzalez is the greatest tight end in Chiefs history, and it's not even close. Travis Kelce may have the numbers to back up being the greatest tight end, but Tony Gonzalez is the beginning of this era of tight ends that we see today currently. Like, without Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, those two tight ends right there, we don't see the birth of a Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, because they're following in their footsteps. Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates were the beginning of what we're seeing.
I can't say that. We saw great tight ends before Tony Gonzalez. Kellen Winslow, Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp was a great one.
All right.
But could you split Shannon Sharp out? Like, there were times where you would see Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates split out to that out wide receiver. I don't see too much of that in Shannon Sharp's plays. But again, you guys remember Big Dog? I was born in 93. So I was raised
as a guy who was born in
Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez.
As a guy who was born in 74, let me tell you about some tight ends before 93. I graduated from high school in 92. So let me tell you.
I know that. My mother graduated in 92 as well.
So what did Blackstreet say? Meg, what did Blackstreet say? I'm going to take you back. Way back. That's what they say in the song, right, Meg?
Uh-huh.
There were some really good tight ends before Tony Gonzalez. And as far as
Kellen Winslow Jr. should have been better. I'll give you that. Kellen Winslow Sr. was a great one, but Kellen Winslow Jr. should have been better. If he would have stayed healthy, Kellen Winslow Jr. would have been.
Well, and he wasn't.
And out of trouble.
Wasn't raping old women either. But anyways, but
that part is that part.
we here at the Rise Up family do not justify sexual assault. But anyways, there were really good tight ends before Tony Gonzalez. Now you say he has the numbers. Okay, Travis Kelce has the numbers, and he's got that.
No, I'm saying that's what I was saying. I was saying Travis Kelce has
got a couple of those too.
He took off his ring. You have this man taking off his ring.
Tony Gonzalez is special. The quarterbacks that Tony Gonzalez played with, I mean, outside of Trent Dilfer, not Trent Dilfer. Actually, was it not Trent Dilfer? The one from the one that got hurt with the Rams. Who am I thinking about? Trent Green.
Trent Green. Okay, who did Travis Kelce play with before Patrick Mahomes? Let's not act like he played.
Alex Smith. Alex Smith was balling. He was balling.
Come on, bro. Alex Smith. Are we really gonna look? I'm sorry. What happened to Alex Smith?
Had the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Okay. Jimmy G has had teams in the playoffs, and what do we think of him? Garbage, Jews.
That is a sensitive quarterback to the team.
What is so wrong about Alex Smith? I need to understand the Alex Smith hate here.
Like, it's not hate. It's not.
To be a number one pick, Alex Smith did not live up to where he was drafted at.
Not at all.
He didn't live up
to that. Not even a little bit.
Not even close.
Not even a little bit. Alex Smith is a more likable version of Baker Mayfield. How about that?
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. Incredible Meg. Wait a minute now. Incredible Meg. Please explain your defending of Alex Smith, though. I want to hear this.
Okay. So when I think of Baker Mayfield,
you got young men taking off their hoods.
Oh, yeah, it's hot.
I think of a little bit,
just got in the house.
More polished, like Johnny Manziel. That's what I think of. So when you say like, that kind of realm, I'm like, I don't think Alex Smith was that bad. Maybe I've got like amnesia here, but I don't think he was that bad. He was actually playing really well right before he got injured.
Okay, Meg. When I pick you number one overall, what are you? Hang on. When I pick you, and I had this debate with somebody a few weeks ago. When I pick you number one at any position, if I say, Meg, you're a defensive end, and I'm taking you number one overall, what do you expect? What kind of player are you expecting?
I mean, expecting Pro Bowl, All Pro.
Pro Bowls, All Pros, Super Bowls. Not people are like, he had a long career. When I select you number one overall, I expect Troy Aikman. I expect Terry Bradshaw. I
ain't gonna
expect
say Troy Aikman because Troy Aikman ain't got no numbers.
Joe Burrow, a guy like Joe Burrow who's in the Super Bowl in his second year. I expect John Elway, not a guy who's a journeyman who throws the ball 10 yards down the field on every play. It's the truth, though. If I select you number one overall as a defensive end, I expect Lawrence Taylor. I expect Charles Haley. I don't expect a guy like Jadeveon Clowney who's never had double-digit sacks. I expect Myles Garrett. I don't expect just a guy who's getting me 4 or 5 sacks. Alex Smith was a slightly above average. They saw so much of him. They go to the Super Bowl, and they just said, "You know what? We can't keep playing like this. Let's go ahead and bring. Let's go and bring in Colin Kaepernick, a more dynamic player." And it's just, you see the same thing going on with Jimmy G and Trey Lance. When I pick you in the top 5, I don't expect you to be just a regular dude, a Jag, not a Jacksonville Jag, a Jag, just a guy, just a regular ass dude,
Just a guy.
just a guy. It's
So
just
okay,
like,
so quarterback aside, do you have Kelsey above Tony Gonzalez?
look, Tony Gonzalez. Look, you have some people that are really great. Let me explain this because I know I'm going to get some backlash for this. You have people who start things, and you have people that a burger's good, right? A hamburger's really good, right? But if you give me cheese and bacon on the top of it, it's even better. That's what that's what it is. You're a guy, a Jag. You're a really good guy. And Tony Gonzalez was an outstanding. Hang on. They call a Chrysler 300 a baby Bentley, right? And it looks like a baby Bentley until you put it up next to a real Bentley.
Hey man.
Yo, did my man just say Travis Kelce literally was an upgrade on the Burger King menu?
And Tony
cheese
Gonzalez
and
is the
bacon?
baby
Wow, my man, yo, Marcus. All right. With that being said,
that one down for later.
Right, yeah. Hold on. What time was that? 7:55 Eastern Standard Time on 9:15.
I like Tony Gonzalez. He's an incredible player. But was Tony Gonzalez the best tight end in his own era? Because I can think of the other tight ends that he played with during that. Was he better overall than Jimmy Graham?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
He was better than Jimmy Graham?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, I think
Okay.
in my mind,
He was more reliable. A lot more reliable.
He's more reliable, better hands, better route runner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. For the current tight ends, Jimmy G definitely helped them get paid more. Well, I'll give him that. But as far as the better talent at receiver, I take Tony Gonzalez over just about any receiver you throw out there.
Nobody's going to have more sure hands than him. Even as
Here's
he was
the reason.
Even as
Here's
he
the
was declining in Atlanta, he still was pretty sure.
That's because they didn't have any receivers.
Come on, yeah, Roddy White, no
Yeah.
touchdowns, Jones.
You're gonna get all of those catches because you're the best receiving threat on your team.
They had Roddy White still.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what. Do you know who the starting wide receiver was when Tony Gonzalez was with the Chiefs? Wait for this. You got to hear this. The world famous Dwayne Bowe.
Dwayne Bowe, Dwayne Bowe and the X Factor.
If you have a legit wide receiver, like I'm always going to take an elite wide receiver over an elite tight end. You look like a really good.
Marcus, time out. Did I hear somebody say Dwayne Bowe, the X Factor?
Rashawn,
you right. The X Factor. You know what you about to get for that? The same X Factor that played on the team with no touchdowns in the season. Give it to him.
That's just what it was, man.
That's number one.
Was the X Factor on that?
Tony Gonzalez played on a Chiefs team one year that did not score a receiving touchdown the whole year.
Right, his brother.
He How do you not score a receiving touchdown in a passing league that gives every advantage to tight ends and receivers and quarterbacks?
The advantages were not going to receivers. At that time, the advantages definitely were not going to receivers. You figure at that time we were in a running back era. The Chiefs went from
this was the early 2000s.
Yes, the early 2000s. The Chiefs had Priest Holmes. The Chiefs had Priest Holmes, and then they had Larry Johnson. Why would I throw the ball and I have Priest Holmes and then I have Larry Johnson? I don't need receiving touchdowns when Priest Holmes is setting NFL records for rushing touchdowns in the season.
You know what,
Rashawn, I might think.
You know who else was playing during who else was playing during that time? You know who else was playing during that time in a pass-happy league? The Rams, the greatest show on turf.
Hey.
They were also playing during that time.
They were as run-heavy. The Chiefs were a run-heavy team at that time.
Rashawn, I might take away that X. That was a good point right there on the running backs. I like the running backs conversation right there.
With that Chiefs team, they didn't have a reason to throw the ball. Chiefs with 27 touchdowns. Why do I need to throw the ball? Priest Holmes got 27 of them.
Okay, I got you. You know who else was a heavy running team during that time? The Ravens. And even Trent Dilfer threw for a touchdown. Even Trent Dilfer, the worst Super Bowl champion quarterback in history, he threw for a touchdown. You can't throw for a touchdown.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Trent Dilfer. Wait a minute. I got a debate on that. Trent Dilfer, Jim McMahon. Trent Dilfer, Jim McMahon.
What do you like? What do you like better? What do you like, trash or sewer water? Which one do you like better?
That's a good one. All right, but we got to get to this Thursday night game. Come on, y'all. Listen, we got the Chargers, we got the Chiefs, man. Who do y'all see winning this game first and foremost? Who has the advantage, and what's going to be the X factor on who wins tonight? I'm gonna start actually with the lady. I'm gonna start with the Incredible Man. Come on, let us know.
I have Chiefs. I'm with Keenan Allen being out and being injured at this point in time. At this point, it doesn't matter who Pat Mahomes throws to, he can make it happen. You saw last week he threw 5 touchdowns without Tyreek, which that was 30% of your offense, and he's still spreading the ball around. And they're at Arrowhead. Yeah, give me Chiefs 35-21.
All right, Rashawn.
I'm taking the upset, and I'm going with the Chargers. I feel like that Chargers defense is just too good. And Patrick Mahomes played last week against the Cardinals, who have no defensive backs on that team. This Chargers team just paid Derwin James. Their cornerbacks are looking good. They still got Joey Bosa on that line. They got They got Khalil Mack on the other side of the ball. Like, I'm gonna take the Chargers with a defensive upset. Actually, only winning by 3 points though. 38-20 win. 31-28.
Eventually, the little brother gets tired of getting beat up by the big brother. The Chiefs have been the big brother smacking you around. The Chargers win, and they're in that window right now. They're in that window like the Bengals are in that. You're not paying Justin Herbert any money. So this whole offseason, you went and spent money on J.C. Jackson. You gave an extension to Derwin James. You went and got Khalil Mack. You already got Joey Bosa. You revamped your offensive line. The Chargers are in that. They're in that window right now. I think they split this year, and I think that the Chargers are gonna. I've been very torn on this game all day. I'm gonna take the Chargers 35-31 in the upset.
Dalton took the Chargers to 28-21. They looking for an upset in Arrowhead, y'all.
And I needed to get back on track in my picks in my league. I got my team.
I have been compelled, and I see she changed her shirt too. Incredible Man done changed their shirt today. That's right. Rep that sure.
Had to. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get out of the shirt that I was in earlier today. We're just gonna throw just a little casual shirt on here. Nothing.
There you go. Throw that sports shirt on for sure. Listen, I'm compelled. Listen, It's almost like The Exorcist. I've been compelled to almost take away this X from Rashard Reeves that I gave him earlier for once again making another phenomenal point about Patrick Mahomes playing against them sorry, terrible Redbirds that everybody thought was going to be good. I'm sorry. Listen.
You should have known it was coming, though. After they gave Kyler that contract, you know that's what happens. It's all ski mask team. That's usually how it works. They get their money and then they can't play. Like that's just how it works.
He hitting them with a clause. He hitting them with the Ryan.
They had to put a clause in his contract for steady time. Should let you know where Kyler Murray is at as far as being a professional. Like,
basically.
And then they posted another stat. They said. There's another stat about Call of Duty. If you watch, whenever Call of Duty makes a release, Kyler Murray has a bad game. They said whenever Call of Duty releases a new map, whenever they drop a double XP weekend, Kyler Murray has a bad game. It's things like that you got to look out for. It's like, dude, we get it. You're young. This new young generation is into video games. But, dude, now you're a $200 million quarterback. They should not be able to get a tell on you just by watching when Call of Duty drops points. Like, all right, well, Call of Duty
hey, let's take it back real quick. Number one overall picks. Would you rather have Alex Smith or Kyler Murray?
We're not answering that. We know what the answer to that question is. We know what the answer to that question is.
But that takes me to my point. When I select you number one overall, Kyler Murray, Alex Smith, Joe Burrow, you cannot just be a Jag, not a Jacksonville Jag, just a guy. When I pick you number one, you got to be that dude. You got to be that dude. So that just, this is a teaching moment.
Oh, okay. So in 1 week, Patrick Mahomes, with the 360 yards he threw, made everybody's head spin 360 with the 5 touchdowns that he had. Everybody was looking for the drop off of Patrick Mahomes, and then Patrick Mahomes threw for 360 yards, and there was the resurgence of Patrick Mahomes being the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, somebody told me that Josh Allen was better than Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to mention. Somebody said that. Somebody has said that. They said
that. That's a debate right now. That's a debate. That's a debate we got to have for another time.
That game last season, the playoff game last season, tells you all that you need to know between Josh and Patrick. Like, he's close, but Patrick is still, in my mind.
Josh Allen doesn't play defense. He ain't got nothing to do with what happened last year.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about in terms of, like, you saw the
they had a back and forth game for 4 quarters.
He's getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, but who had the number?
I fully blame the defense there.
But who had the number one ranked defense in the league last year?
The Bills were
okay. With that being said, we moving on. All right, I got the Chiefs winning tonight. He on fire today. I got the Chiefs winning.
Number one defense.
Leslie Frazier coached a horrible game in that playoff game. That was a horribly coached game. Why Leslie Frazier dropped into a cover 3 when they only needed to pick up 15 yards is beyond me. Like,
well, technically, hold on, time out.
Cover 3, they need a 15 yards, bro. Anybody can
time out. That technically, folks, that's not on Leslie Frazier. That is on Sean McDermott, because Sean McDermott, at the end of the day, has the say so on what plays is made at the end of the games. In crucial, critical moments, Sean McDermott is the one who says, "Okay, we going with that." And if he doesn't agree with that, he has the right to tell.
How about it's on Brandon B instead of drafting Gregory Rousseau? You draft Najee Harris and run the ball at the end and run the clock out, like the way that the Indianapolis Colts do with Jonathan Taylor.
Right. Now, speaking of a team that can run the football, we got to talk about the Browns and Jets, obviously, coming up this week. Browns and Jets, who we got? Don't make no picks, Marcus. I know your show tomorrow. Don't make no picks, but let's talk about it real quick. Incredible Meg, who you got? Browns, Chiefs. I mean, Browns, Jets.
You're asking me to pick between Jacoby Brissett and Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Give me Browns, but not by much, though. Yeah, give me Browns by 7. I don't even know a score prediction, but yeah, give me Browns by 7.
Rashawn.
I'm going to take the Browns 17-14. I like what the Browns have offensively. They got a nice little offense going on over there. And Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward on defense. I like what they got. The Jets only have, one player on their team, and Sauce Gardner's a rookie. Like, I'm not putting everything.
You talking about on offense? I mean, they got Breece Hall. They got Elijah Moore. Like, there's folks.
Michael Carter.
Yeah,
A lot of young players. I don't trust in Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco ain't been shit since he won that Super Bowl, and he really wasn't shit on that team either. Like he really wasn't. He was just.
That's what
Joe
happened.
Flacco is one of those. He's one of those players.
You mean a quarterback who's a bus driver who just comes along for the ride? An average quarterback. Like Alex Smith. Like
he
Alex
is just
Smith.
like if you want to talk about somebody that's just another guy, Joe Flacco is really just another guy. Like, dude, he really just be on the field. Like, yo, bro, you gonna make a play? Throw the ball down the field. Do something. He throws 7-yard slants all game long. Like, I don't want to watch Joe Flacco play football.
I remember Randy Moss when he went to the 49ers and he's running down the field wide open. And you know how when Randy would be open, he would do this. And Alex Smith threw a 5-yard out to Vernon Davis. And that's all that told me everything I needed to see right there.
Oh, Vernon Davis. Oh my goodness.
You remember him?
One of those tight ends.
Yeah.
The brother of Vontae Davis, the guy who quit
Davis.
at halftime. Just quit it out. I mean, that was nearly as bad as Antonio Brown taking his ass off.
I mean, it's basically the same thing. Just quitting in the middle of the game.
Oh, they said he went into the halftime locker room and just basically said he just started taking off his clothes. He just walked in and was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done, fellas.
Well, okay, so I don't want to get into that Vontae Davis conversation because we've had that in past. That's for another time. But I will say this: I'm taking the Jets.
What? Oh wow!
Y'all heard me?
Oh wow!
I heard
wow!
Noted.
Very clearly.
We got receipts. Well, we got receipts. We got
receipts. Jets.
You ain't got no faith in Jacoby Brissett. You ain't got no faith in Jacoby Brissett.
Hey, now,
let me just tell you this real quick.
Is serviceable if you need him to be.
There go that word again, serviceable. There go that serviceable word. You know what? It's gonna be a serviceable butt whooping too when the Jets beat the Browns by 3 this week. When Joe Flacco throws for another 300 yards this week. And then Michael Carter and them have a good game, and Corey Davis has a good game this week. It's going to be – listen, this is not going to be no blowout. I mean, we know that the Browns going to run the football. But the Jets have a good enough this year?
A lot, not Elijah Moore. The
rookie from this year. Was it Jameson Williams or Jameson Williams, the boy from Alabama or Ohio State? Who was it?
My brain.
Oh, you talking? That's the Lions that got Jameson. The Lions got the Jameson kid from Alabama.
I'm looking now because I had to.
The Jets. They didn't get a rookie receiver though. It wasn't Jameson.
Yeah, it was somebody. Hold on, I'm looking.
They had like two first round picks.
Yeah.
You talking about the Jets or the Browns?
The Jets wide receiver, the rookie.
Okay, the Jets wide receiver.
Did they take a wide receiver this year?
No, you're talking about Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson.
Okay, there you go.
Ohio State. Yes.
Yeah. The Jets got Garrett Wilson. For sure, definitely. I'm taking the Jets, by the way, by 3. All right, moving on. Got more to go. Got a couple more to go because the game coming on shortly. I don't know whether to call them the Commodores or the Commanders. The Commodores or the Commanders.
Speaking of another quarterback who went in the top 2 who's been garbage dumpster dudes, Meg, you can speak to this guy after the debacle last year, the absolute debacle, wasting a MVP type season for Jonathan Taylor on this garbage dumpster juice player.
Wait a minute, time out. Don't we got 2 of them? Wait a minute, don't we got 2 quarterbacks like that? Jared Goff or Carson Wentz? Who y'all taking? Jared Goff or Carson Wentz as a quarterback?
A number 1 overall pick.
Why would you do this to me?
Got to.
Oh
I'm taking
God.
myself. I feel like I can play a better quarterback position.
He said, "I'm taking myself."
Taking myself.
Give me Carson, and don't make me say it again.
You just had Carson. You dumped Carson. You dumped Carson. You don't get to get Carson back. You dumped him. You look at this. Don't blink your eyes at that. I mean, you wishing you could go back and go get it. I mean, you just had Carson. Carson wins.
Who's the owner of the Colts?
You said Jim Irsay.
Crazy dude.
Irsay.
Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts.
Jim Irsay. After that playoff loss, he was just like, we can't continue to have stuff like this. We just can't. Like, you basically wasted a season of Jonathan Taylor. You wasted it of Jonathan Taylor. Carson Wentz did, and he didn't have a bad.
It wasn't a bad season.
He didn't have a bad season. I think he threw like 5 interceptions.
7, but
that's
still not bad either. But you got to think they paid $25+ million for Carson for that year, plus the picks. And to your point, like when you give up something, you're expecting something back, right? I think if the season doesn't end the way that it does, like if they don't unravel in the Raiders game, if they don't unravel clearly meltdown in the Jags game, maybe Carson gets a little more leeway because he didn't play bad football. But I think what happens is you got the totality of the season, the kind of backyard hero football that he plays, the, oh my gosh, let me hold my breath. Let me, you don't know which way the ball is going. He became more erratic as the season was going on, and that just wasn't acceptable to Jim Irsay. And not to mention, like when you start costing your team, yardage or start costing your team, situational football, that's when Irsay was like, okay, absolutely not. You got to go. Like, and at the end of the day, like I mentioned before, Carson was Frank Reich's guy. Frank came in and said, hey, this is my guy. Let's go get him. I don't think it was necessarily Jim Irsay wanting Carson outright. It was Frank convincing Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay, this is my guy. I know him. I got history with him. Like, let's go get him. And when it didn't work out, it ended with Frank Reich apologizing to Jim Irsay and them having to move on, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Wentz had his best season under Frank Reich. He had that
right.
I think that was that Super Bowl season before he got hurt. If he didn't break his leg, I think he wins the MVP that year.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
He wins the MVP.
Absolutely,
I think he wins the MVP. So, I mean, Carson Wentz, he was in the same draft with my guy. I've just never been impressed with Carson Wentz. And I think Carson Wentz has kind of cursed Trey Lance because now when you think of North Dakota State quarterbacks, you're just like,
you petty. You is hella petty.
Yeah, I am. North Dakota State.
Definitely petty on this one. So who y'all got? Y'all got the Lions or Commanders?
Give me the Commanders. I'll take Commanders, especially. I'll say this: the Lions have been doing well. You saw they put up 35 points last week against the Eagles, and if you've been watching Hard Knocks, which by the way, if you haven't, go watch it because it's actually really good. I think they're buying into what Dan Campbell is selling. So you see them out there, and they've got the talent on the team there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamal Williams, are those kind of key pieces they're trying to build. So Swift. they're Swift as well. They're knocking on the door, but in my mind, I don't know if they're quite there yet. So I would say give me Commanders over the Lions. Maybe by a touchdown as well.
I think the Lions are a quarterback away. They're starting to get that culture. You look at, like you said, man, Swift, Jamal Williams, Hawkinson. You got Jameson Williams coming back. Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got some pieces over there. To me, I just think that they need a trigger man because Goff, he's another one. Another number one. Is this the theme of the show today? Bust number one overall picks.
Oh, no.
Number one overall picks.
Listen, pretty soon you're going to be bringing up like RG3. We're just going to keep moving through the draft.
Jags. Just a guy. He's just a guy. Who you got, Sean? Who you got?
Yeah, we're gonna take the Commanders all the way around, man. Jared Goff is a bum. Period. There's not even a debate to have. He is horrible.
Yeah.
Realistically, if we're looking at quarterback to quarterback across the NFL, Jared Goff is in your bottom 3 as far as starting quarterbacks in the NFL currently. And
three?
Yeah. And Davis Mills is a starting quarterback currently. Like, I got Jared Goff like maybe slightly above him.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. You got some pretty bad ones out there.
Like
You just said Flacco. You just said Flacco.
So you got Davis Mills, Joe Flacco, and then Jared Goff. That's your bottom 3. Jeez. After that, I mean,
you take Baker Mayfield over Jared Goff?
Yes. No. Yes. Jared Goff got to that. I am a Rams fan. I can honestly say this. Jared Goff made that Super Bowl and got that paycheck because of Sean McDermott. With Jeff Fisher, he was a horrible quarterback.
Sean McVay.
Sorry, Sean McVay. When you take him out of that system in Los Angeles, St. Louis, wherever the Rams decide they want to play at this season, he's not the same quarterback. Jared Goff has been a bum since they took him out of that. Outside of that Sean McVay system, Jared Goff has been a bum. You figure with Jeff Fisher, he was a bum. Now he's with the Lions and Dan Campbell, and he's a bum. Even
you would rather have Jared Goff over
less than 250 yards a game. Jared Goff then.
Jared Goff for Geno Smith. Jared Goff for Geno Smith. And please, we cannot take this game that he just won. I think there was Geno Smith has been atrocious.
He's been garbage.
As bad as Jared Goff is, I can't say bottom 3.
I can't even believe y'all bringing up Geno Smith right now, this early in the show. I can't believe y'all advertising Geno Smith this early in a show, man. Man, I don't know what hall they going down. It ain't the man. I'm about to tell you what hall I'm going down.
Bottom 3, so
man. Y'all want to know?
I'm just here. That's all.
Y'all want to know Commanders or Lions, right? I'm about to tell you what hall I'm going down.
Oh my
gosh. He talking about Lion King. This guy.
He couldn't wait. He could not wait. You know he couldn't wait.
I see the Lions beating a no-name team. Should have stayed. A no-name team. No-name team.
Washington football team established 1932.
Man, I'm taking the Lions. I'm taking the Lions on this one, bro.
Oh my gosh.
They should have consulted somebody else about the name of their team. Like
for real.
To go from Redskins to Commanders, that's almost a slap in the face. Like
I really thought that they were gonna go with I really thought that they should have went with the Hogs. I thought that would have been or the Washington Diesels named after John Riggins or something like anything but the Commanders.
Like, Commanders.
Yeah, they could have went with the Commodores and we would have agreed with that. Like
easy like Sunday morning.
Yeah, it ain't like something like the Commanders. Like I wouldn't even buy a Commanders jersey if I was a Washington fan. I'd be like, okay, are there any more football team jerseys left? Like.
I always like their colors. Their colors that being a Cowboys fan, I always like that burgundy and gold looks, kind of like the Cleveland Cavaliers, that champagne and gold. It's really sharp, but it's just what a stupid nickname. That's really dumb. A really dumb nickname. It's like some nicknames. You're just like who sat down and said this would be a good idea? Like the Cleveland Browns. We were named after Paul Brown. What a stupid, you have no logo. You got an elf. You put an elf. You put an elf on the logo on the middle of your field.
Marcus, I'm literally clipping this segment on how you took 3 minutes to talk about how dookie a team's logo really is. Speaking of easy like Sunday morning, this pick not going to be easy like Sunday morning, though. Bucks, Saints. Be careful now. Watch out now. Watch out. It's in New Orleans. Watch out.
With Michael Thomas being back in New Orleans, that makes a big difference. That is a huge help for Jameis Winston. I'm going to take the Bucks by a touchdown. 28-21. Take the Bucks by a touchdown. And because watching that Buccaneers offense last week, their defense came to show. But that Buccaneers offense last week looked a little subpar. They were a little iffy on that. No, I mean being able to get down the field, but they were kicking field goals.
Are we sure that the Bucks defense is really good, or that the Dallas Cowboys offense is just decimated?
I mean, Dak Prescott.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I look at when you look and you have a rookie left tackle. Okay, you have holes all in your offensive line. CeeDee Lamb does not have anybody on the other side. I mean, let's not forget the Cowboys lost to them by a point last year and had the number one offense. With the number one offense, I think it's fair to say I'm going to make a bold prediction because I'm not gonna predict this game, but I will say this: whoever comes out of the NFC this year, needless to say, they're going to get their teeth kicked in the Super Bowl. I think that's pretty fair to say. When I look at all of the NFC teams, I just don't see that dominating team in the NFC.
No.
I'm actually going to take the Saints in an upset. But it's going to be a close 2017. And the only reason I say that is because that Bucs O-line is decimated right now. It's really bad.
It's really bad.
And I don't know how much longer Tom Brady's going to survive back there with that O-line being that thin.
Tom Brady should have retired this offseason. Yeah, he should have retired.
Well,
he's got nothing else to play for.
I was having this conversation earlier today with a bunch of ladies who are also in the sports world as well. So we all, of course, follow NFL. And I told them, I said, I was half joking when I said it a couple months ago, but I really think he was upset that Adam Schefter leaked it early. Just so much that he was upset. He was like, you know what? Fine. I'm coming back. I'm unretiring. I'm doing it on my own terms. Like, didn't consult anybody. Then I saw a report today that him and his wife were in a bit of a rough patch over his decision to come back. And so now it makes me think that Brady was like, hey, I do this on my own terms. I retire when I want. I come back when I want. And, like, now that he's come back, like, you can see he looks thin. He sounds different. Like, you can tell he's going through it. Whatever he's going through it behind the scenes. And I really think he should have just stayed retired. And, like,
they said his wife filed for divorce at the beginning of the season. Like, right after the last preseason game, she filed for divorce. Like, yo, bro, you don't want to be at home? I'm not about to just sit here. And at the end of the day, when Giselle is the breadwinner, she don't need Tom Brady's money. She could up and leave at any point in time and be good on life. Tom Brady should have retired this offseason just for the sake of his family. Like, bro, what else do you need to be out there for? At some point, I don't care what anybody says, we all have dealt with a significant other. At some point, your significant other wants to spend time with you, bro. You have been a professional for the last 20 years and not been at home for 20 years straight. Then the one time she finally gets you at home, you at home for 35 days and you say, nah, I'm going back to playing football. Yeah. Like, yo, that was damn near a slap in the face to her. Like, her feelings probably got hurt. It's hard. What happened in their conversation where, like, they were probably at an agreement where Tom wasn't coming back. Then all of a sudden,
they were. I read
she sees it on TV that Tom Brady done told Adam Schefter, hey, I'm going back to play football. And she's sitting there in the living room like, yo,
what the hell?
You just told me we was going on vacation in a couple of weeks. You going back to football? Like,
what's that saying? Happy wife, happy life.
Man,
happy wife, happy life.
He ain't got one. And right now, Tom Brady, like she said, Tom Brady does not look like the same player.
Yeah, he does. No.
He came back skinnier after being away. Like, they said he took a little hiatus because he had to get his mind right. Yeah, your wife is divorcing you, bro. And at some point, it's going to kick in. Like, at some point, it's going to show up in your performance that you are distracted by what's happening to you off the field. And you're 45, my guy. Like, hang it up. There is nothing else to play for. You're a 7-time Super Bowl champion. You hold every record that a quarterback could want as far as passing yards, touchdowns, like completions. You got it all. What are you here to play for? If you're not playing for another $100 million contract, what are you here to play for?
He was never really
playing. Right now is just currently holding on to the NBA. Like, dude, what are you here to play for? To get more stats, to pad on to the stats that can't nobody else catch up to anyways? Like, you want to just make sure that can't nobody catch up.
He got to be doing it for money because he ain't getting no more rings.
Well, you know what's funny? I think this is my personal opinion, but I do think that sometimes when one thing is all that you don't know who you are without it. And I think that could be possible that Tom Brady is going through that, where that his identity is tied to football, and he's been a football player for 23 plus years. And I think
a professional football player. That's not even talking about Pee Wee League and college and middle school.
So when you step away from that is such a core part of your life. It has run your life for what, over half of his life at this point. Like that's literally his first life. Football. Yeah. So, when you're trying to step away from that, that's not easy. So I can see why it would cause, potentially some contention within him and maybe within his family for his decision to come, back and play some more.
But I also think that when you play a game like football, you can do that in golf. You can do that in golf. I'm going to go back and keep competing in golf. When it's football or combat sports, I'm going to just keep going out there. You're putting you can die on a football field. I mean, let's be real with it. You can die on a football field. And, it comes to a point you got to start, when I got out the military, I mean, that's all I had known. It's like it comes to a point in time where you have to find other things to do. Your body just can't, you can't be a 60-year-old football player. I mean, I'm sure Tom Brady would probably try. I mean, you beat Nas already to get to 45 as a football player, so, you got to learn to move on.
It's time for him to go in the closet.
The game hasn't started yet, has it?
Yes, it did. The game just started.
Okay.
But it's time for Thomas to call it a day, man. There's nothing else to play for, dude. You're not proving a point. We get it. You are the GOAT, okay? You are the greatest of all time. If we're looking at the numbers, we're looking at rings, Tom Brady, you got it. But at the end of the day, there's still going to be somebody that has that conversation that will straight up say, like myself, Tom Brady is not the most talented quarterback I've seen. He's never done anything that has made me go, you know what? He's a special talent. He doesn't have the great arm talent. He doesn't have incredible accuracy. He's not fast. He's just been a part of really a great system. And that's just what it was. Like, you were part of a great system. Now they've basically turned it over to you. But what people missed when he got to Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston had just threw for 5,300 yards with that offense and 30 touchdowns. The problem with Jameis Winston was in Tampa Bay, kept throwing the ball to the other team. Like, you had 30 touchdowns
and 30 interceptions.
And 30 interceptions. Like, you didn't have – that is one of those cases where how do you have a great, bad season at the same damn time? Like, it'd be like a basketball player leading the league in points, but then also leading the league in turnovers, LeBron James. We ain't going to speak on that. You understand what I'm saying? We let
Russell
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook is who I think of.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
wait a minute.
In turnovers, and it's like we don't say nothing. Like, Jameis Winston left the Buccaneers team after having 5,000 passing yards, and we looked at Tom Brady and said, he's the greatest of all time. Look at what he's doing with the Buccaneers.
He didn't leave. No. He didn't leave. They got rid of his ass. You didn't quit. You got fired.
I'm just saying, like, we act like Tom Brady made such a difference when Jameis Winston threw for 5,330 touchdowns. Like, all you had to do as a quarterback on the Buccaneers is not throw the ball to the other team, and he would have had 13 wins.
But that's part of it too. That's part of it too.
Well, speaking of which, Mark of the Alphabets, you brought up your teams. I had to do this real quick. I've got to, brother. Look at this.
Oh my God!
Look at this.
We played a whole game and scored 3 points. Like we Draymond Green. Right, it's the first quarter. Right. Right, take a look at Jacobs. All right, I'm about to go head up with Leonard Fournette. I know he's not the same as he was at LSU. Never mind. Lay on my back corrected. Now they stepping on me like some signals. Right, 3rd and 10. Right, take a look at Davis. I'm Davis. I'm a $160 million quarterback. Right, only person to make more money than me. He doing less. Paris Hilton. Right, I do my best work in garbage time. All right, so let me just go this pick so we can get there fast. Right. All right. Peters and
All right, enough of that. Yo,
Jerry and Stephen Jones ought to be embarrassed for the person who's going to catch the flack for that is Dak Prescott, though. But in all truth, Jerry and Stephen Jones have been in dereliction of their duty and helping Dak Prescott out. They can say whatever they want, and I know Dak Prescott, he's going to be, the fall guy for it. The bottom line is you got rid of all his weapons. You gave away Amari Cooper. You gave away La'el Collins. Just cut La'el Collins. You got a 5th round pick for Amari Cooper. When you see guys like AJ Brown and Hollywood Brown getting more, going for more pick draft capital, dereliction of duty, man. It's embarrassing. Bad time to be a Cowboys fan right now.
And honestly, that Ezekiel Elliott contract has the Cowboys in a tough position right now because Ezekiel Elliott.
They can cut him this offseason.
Because since signing their contract, Ezekiel Elliott has done jack shit. He's been just another guy. Like Tony Pollard has been the better running back on the Dallas Cowboys for the last 2 seasons.
He's a better running back, but you saw whenever pass blocking, whenever they're pushing him into Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, he is not a good pass blocker. As a running back in today's league, you got to be able to pass block too. You can't just be a runner.
I get that. But Ezekiel Elliott just hasn't shown that he's worth the money that they gave him. I'll put it to you like that. And right now, the Cowboys are in a tough position because you do have to keep paying him. So it makes it hard for you to sign.
They paid all of his guaranteed money. This offseason, they can cut him with no penalty. This is Ezekiel Elliott's last season.
Or restructure some things. Let's try to get something happening because, the money you get in Ezekiel Elliott.
Give me Brehan Robinson. That's who I want.
With that being said, I was gonna go through all the picks, but I'm gonna save some for M&T Live at the Apollo on Saturday too, the TV show on public access. I'm gonna save some of that for that show because I know the game is on right now currently, and the Chargers is winning 3-0. But there is one thing I want to speak about before we go, because we got like 8 minutes left. And I want to talk about this Brett Favre situation. I want to talk about Brett Favre.
I got it. I got this. Now, we here at the Rise Up family, with the Rise Up Sports family, we try to keep this as strictly sports. Okay? We try to keep this strictly sports. But whenever geopolitical things cross paths with sports, we address it. That's what we do here. This is the epitome. This situation is the epitome of white supremacy. I'm going to say it. Some of y'all may not say it. That's okay. I get nice little nasty grams in my inbox. I'll take it. I'll take that shot. We all know what would happen is somebody like we seen the way T.O. was treated, who's never been arrested, who's never been in any kind of trouble. Yes, was he a jackass? Yeah, he had some issues. He had to wait. Wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, if this was reversed to a guy like T.O., he didn't even do anything like this, and they banned him from the Hall of Fame for a few years. This is the epitome. So we like to use these as teaching moments where you see certain stuff, the disparity of how certain people are treated. And I'll just leave it at that. And I'll address this more tomorrow on the Alphabet Football Show, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, with my lovely co-host, Ramona Dahar. And I'll leave it at that.
Meg, your thoughts?
Yeah. I thought it was pretty telling. If those text messages are true, the ones that I saw, the first question that he asked out of the gate is, can the media get wind of where this money is coming from? And that is really, really disturbing to me. The fact that that's what you're concerned about, like not necessarily about what you're doing, but what is the media going to think of me? What are the storylines going to be? And unfortunately for me, like, and maybe it's fortunately, that changes my view of Brett Favre. Not that it I already had certain views about Brett Favre off the field. Now on the field, cool, fine. But in my mind, if you decide that you're going to break the law, if you decide that you're going to do ridiculous things like this, I have always said, and this is going to sound wild for me to say this, but I'm going to say it. I have always said, if you decide that you're going to be stupid, at least be smart stupid. Like, don't do things like what Brett Favre did, where like, oh, I'm going to incriminate myself with text messages. I'm going to do this, right? But like, he literally just led a trail to them, like right so they could pick it up. And the thing is, like, I just know I couldn't be a criminal because I know for me, like, my conscience would eat me up. Like, I would not be smart enough to do all those things. But to the folks that decide they want to do that, please be at least smart enough not to do the things that Brett Favre did. I really feel like this is a bad look, at least for the NFL in regards that, like, we talk about it all the time, and I talk about it too. When players get out of the NFL, who are they? What are they doing with their life when they get off the field? Is there any sort of ongoing rehabilitation for those folks that have gotten off the field? Because you find a lot of these former ex-players getting into trouble with things like this. And that bothers me. So at this point, I'd be curious to see what happens. I'm sure there's probably a whole lot more to the story that we haven't seen and we haven't heard.
Rashawn.
When people show you who they are, believe them.
I am unaware. This is the first I'm hearing about anything with Brett Favre today. So,
well,
I'll send you. Don't worry, I'll send you the link as soon as this show's
yeah,
over.
but I can pull it up for you.
I remember I sent it. I put it in the Facebook. I put it right on Facebook, the whole 9 yards. You can check the page. Marcus, you can send the link. All right. Well, this is what I got to say about it. Everybody know I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. Everybody know I love the Green Bay Packers through and through. But I lost all respect for Brett Favre. Every bit of it. And here's why. I don't give a damn if it's off the field. On the field, he could have been great. But integrity is something that's super important. And I think that's something that we miss. I think we allow these guys because they play a sport and we give them the superstar, I'm a god, aura that they're above anything else. They're above everything else. They can do what they want. And Marcus mentioned white supremacy. I call it white privilege. Let's be clear on that. Yeah. Let's call it spade a spade. I call it white privilege. Now, did Brett Favre steal anything? No. I mean, the government, his idiot ass should just be locked up. They should throw him under the jail for his stupid ridiculousness. As Mississippi is the poorest state in America, folks. Now,
with no clean drinking water. With no clean drinking water.
The poorest state in America, and everybody on here who knows me knows that I have a soft spot for people who are less fortunate, and who deal with homelessness and things of that nature every day. People know that. For Brett Favre to get tons and tons and tons of money and then donate, mind you, you got welfare benefits, but donate it to your daughter's school so you can look like a philanthropist, so you can look philanthropic, is absolutely the biggest fraud I've ever seen from a sports guy. We talk about Pete Rose. This shit is worse than Pete Rose to me. I'm sorry. Pete Rose bet on games. This fool literally took welfare benefits from people less fortunate in the poorest state in America and then tried to get philanthropic by donating to his daughter's damn school. How messed up?
He did pay the money back, but that's you made $200 million. He didn't pay back the interest. He didn't pay back the interest. He did pay back the money. He did pay back the money, but he didn't pay back the interest. But that's irregardless. The thing is, you made $200+ million in your playing career, in a 20-year career. You don't need anything like that. Nope. Nothing. Mm-hmm. No, that's the point of the matter. And you're sitting up there. That's fraudulence. You can spin it any way that you want. That's fraudulence. That's kind of like a certain person that took money for the border wall and used the money to buy a new yacht, and then was pardoned by a certain ex-president. But anyways, that's just like fraudulence, and I'll leave it at that because I'm getting mad. That has my
pathetic. Yeah, my blood is boiling, and people would be like, "Oh, you're back." I'm a fan of sports. I'm not a fan of buffoonery. Let's be clear on that. Mm-hmm. And that's buffoonery. to the umpteenth power. That's ask to 9, ask to 10, ask to 11, astronomically stupid. Okay, I just can't even believe it. When I saw the text message, this guy was like, "Can the media trace this back to me?" Bro, I had a Brett Favre picture in here. I threw it out. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I took the picture, threw it out. I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of people who take advantage of people who are less fortunate whatsoever at all. Sorry. You could be Green Bay, where green and gold, green and yellow, all you want. And that means nothing to me at the end of the day when you take from people like that. So, yeah. More to the story coming up, though. I mean, there's a whole lot that's going to come out. I hope they get the governor, too, with his sorry behind, too. Get him, too. He should be under the jail right about now.
What's done in the dark will eventually come to light. I'm a firm believer that you can do you do fraudulent stuff. But it's all good. We're going to find out. We are definitely going to find out.
Yep.
With that being said, I hope y'all enjoy Thursday Night Football. The Chargers is on the move again. By the way, maybe somebody was on to something when they said the Chargers was going to win this game. They on the move.
There's still
again.
a second half.
Yeah, I know. There's still a second half. But nevertheless,
Speaking of that,
Saturday, we got Friday.
Make a reference to your shirt real quick. Next week, Friday, I will be in Miami Beach. I will be there for the Bills game on Sunday. Bills versus Miami. I will be there to talk my shit. I will be nice and big in the crowd. You know me. I talk crazy everywhere I go, so don't worry about me.
For sure. Listen, Friday, we got tomorrow, Alphabets football talk show tomorrow. We got M&T Live at the Apollo on Saturday. Sunday, you got the Buffalo Bills edition of Rise Up Early coming on 11 o'clock. And Monday, myself, Mookie Hoggins, will be live from Highmark Stadium. I'll be there at 3 p.m. just to make sure that I'm there. I will be there on the field. I'm gonna try to do everything I can to get y'all some of this exclusive this week. All right, myself, Mookie Hoggins. Monday, there will be no Waffle Sports report, obviously on Monday, but Wednesday when we come back, we're gonna have a whole bunch to talk about. Nevertheless, I want to thank the incredible Meg for coming on. And by the way, come on, Meg, you already know I'm not. Listen, this is Listen, you have exasperated your guest list welcome. This is no more guest list welcome for you. This is, we send you the link. You come on if you want. You ain't a guest no more after that.
All right.
No more guest stuff. You ain't a guest no more.
You can go on the refrigerator and get a drink without asking.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, the Chargers is at the goal line, by the way. With that being said, we at the goal line of the show. Shout out to WDAP Radio, WDAP TV, Rise Up Unlimited Radio. Y'all know what it is. Rashawn Reeves, Marcus the Alphabets, the incredible Meg, Firestarter. Say it, Marcus, darn it. See ya.